Leetcodes. I've been solving them, but I'm just too lazy to upload videos. How's it going? Welcome to another Leetcode video. Minimum index of valid split. This question, it says we have an element x of an integer array. It's dominant if more than half the elements is that number. So if x spans more than half the size of the array as elements, then it's the most dominant. Basically, the highest count, right? So it says you're giving zero index to array numbers of length n with one dominant element. So we're given an array with one dominant element, right? And we can split it at I, given that the two arrays that get split have the same dominant element. So basically, both arrays, that dominant element spans more than half the length of that array, like that small split. It wants the minimum index of a valid split. So basically, it's asking, can we split this array into two arrays where each have the same dominant element and each have the same dominant element respectively. If no valid split exists, return -1. So by theory, the dominant element of the whole array has to be the one that we're going to use for splitting, and that's the dominant element to the left side and to the right side, because by logic, if more than half, not half, if more than half the array is that dominant element, then any split possible, taking any number other than that, is just not going to work, because you cannot possibly have two sides of an array where that same number is more than half the elements, basically. So we're going to use the dominant element. Or something, I don't know, called something, where it's just basically loops over the array, and then there's a count that keeps incrementing and decrementing to get the like the maximum appearance number. I just did it the old school way, you know, having a hash map and then just updating it whenever we see, and then we iterate over the array. After having that max number, we have the max number and its count, right? We iterate over the array, right? And we keep incrementing. This should not be a hash map. This can be just a normal counter, but it only goes up if we see that dominant element. And then we check, right? The left side, we check the left side, which is basically this part. If that number, since we keep track of the ongoing iterations, we keep this hash map, so it keeps incrementing to the left side, right? So for the left side, if the max number has appeared more than half the size of this left portion, and right, max seen is the total number of times I've seen that dominant element. I subtract it from the left side, right? It's going to give me the right side, and that is also greater than, this is half the right portion, right? So basically, if these conditions two are correct, we can return I, as this is the first index. Otherwise, we can return -1. As you guys see, this can pass. Maybe if we use that Bobby Moore algorithm, it would be more space efficient, but honestly, it's the same time complexity. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one.